Welcome back to another episode of Gore to Be Gore.
Hi.
Hello. So, we're going to do something just a little bit outside of our norm and go after something that is pretty much brand spanking new, having come out in February of this year, and it's just now the first week of March.
And it's one of those that Tara and I, we both follow many horror pages and Twitter and stuff like that, and there's been a lot of controversy on this particular
There's
movie.
been a lot. Like, the reviews I was seeing were so up and down and all over the place, and there was actually some anger about this movie, like some real rage coming out in the commentary, and simply because of that, not just the anger, but it was that rage that was coming from some people in our generations that made me want to say, hey,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
And I'm very excited to do this review. This is the 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Now,
very excited.
What really got to us, and one of the major reasons I wanted to boycott the movie in the first place, is because everybody kept calling it a remake, which we discovered very quickly into the movie. It's not a remake, it's a continuance. This occurs...
literally continuance.
Yeah, this occurs nearly 50 years after the original classic.
Now, there are 9 in total, including this one of the Leatherface
A lot of them.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, the original being in 1974.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, that's 48 years later, and they even mentioned this in the movie. So the people that were saying that this is a remake, and especially like I was mentioning to you on Twitter...
You should probably watch the movie before you comment.
Yes, just because it has the same title, and again, most of them do, but just because it's the same title does not make it a remake. This is literally, and again...
It is
in the movie,
actually a full-blown continuance.
They say it's a continuance. This is 50 years later.
Yep. So basically, and since we don't want to give too many spoilers away, as it is brand new, basically the plot to this is influencers decide to go to the dying ghost town in Texas, where Leatherface is from, and they want to redress it. Bring in,
the banks came in and basically...
They have bought out the whole town.
Bought out the whole town. So you have all these places up for sale, and they're bringing all these business people in.
They're wanting to open up coffee shops.
Art studios.
And herbalists. Yeah, like... the art studio, really? In the middle of Texas?
And there's not another town for 50 miles. And they mentioned this in the movie as well, that they're a 50-mile radius between any other interaction of town.
These are all hipsters looking to come in and turn it into Hipsterville.
Basically, in which as you're watching the movie, you're kind of thinking like especially with the art studio thing, how is that going to thrive in a place where they're at?
When I was hearing them go through... And they really do kind of go in depth with what they want to do with the town.
Yes.
But as I'm listening to that, as a consumer myself, all I could think is they were doomed for failure. They're 50 miles outside of nowhere.
And at the beginning of the movie, you meet all the starring characters very quickly as they are all together, essentially going to the town. And they get stopped by the local sheriff. They stopped at the gas station. They even meet their redneck guy that they decide to poke fun of because he has his gun outside, his
gun on his side. He's driving the big truck with the smokestacks in the back, and where we live, that's almost like a status symbol out here.
That's pretty common out
here. It really is. It's like a status symbol out here. Not to say anything bad about our area. It's just
that's the way it is.
When I hear them gun their engines and stuff, all I can think is, who's overcompensating now?
And they actually point that out in the movie, like they poke fun at him. Well, he ends up being the guy that they had contacted at the auto repair shop.
Coming in and
and he fixed all these places up so then they could do it for the show, for the sale. Ends up being this guy. They feel like complete assholes, and even when as soon as he sees them, he's like, shit.
And he. From the very minute you meet this character, this is Mo Dunford is the actor.
Yeah.
The second you meet this character, he is just oozing hero.
Yeah, we
like he oozes hero mode.
I mean,
we were rooting for him.
Yep.
Going out there, you have 2 siblings. would be the older sister and her younger sister, who apparently has issues, played by Sarah Yarkin and Elsie Fisher. The young lady has no desire to be there whatsoever with her sister and her two little friends.
No, but the older sister is with Dante, that are the two that have basically been talking to the bank and making all this stuff work, in which she is dragging her little sister along, because you later find out that there's a tragic incident in which the little sister is basically bond tied to the older sister, which, again, we don't want to do too many spoilers.
It basically just states she is damaged.
Yeah.
You cannot help but dislike the character of the older sister. You can't help it.
And she's
very controlling. She's very overbearing. And through the whole movie, you just, even when she's in her hero mode, you still want to trip her.
Yeah, absolutely.
You do. You still want to kick a foot out and watch her fall on her face.
Now, starting into the introduction of Leatherface, right off the bat, the very first kill, amazing.
Oh my gosh, the kill scenes in this movie,
epic,
were fantastic, albeit somewhere slightly unrealistic and moderately disappointing. But if you can break it down and enjoy it for what it is,
we talked about that though. That's classic.
It is
horror, like.
You were absolutely right. It was a classic cheesy horror move, and I think it was very well placed.
And the death scenes were fantastic from the very first one on, and they even, and again, they mentioned that this is 50 years later. Nobody has seen or heard of Leatherface for almost 50 years, and they even mentioned how the back history and everything.
Yes, they do give a touch of back history to it. And the one thing that I really did like about this, and honestly, I really did like the movie, the chase scenes are not drawn out.
No.
They're pretty quick chase scenes. So it's not a whole lot of, running and bitches tripping over nothing type thing.
Exactly. And it is, and there's not a whole lot of wait time for everything to get going.
No, it really...
And it
Once they get past that background intro
of the kids,
there's not a butt ton of dialogue.
No,
it really bounces, and that first kill just sets the tone for the movie, and they are not disappointing.
Not at all. Again, there being 9 Texas Chainsaw Massacres, Leatherface, movies altogether. Watching this one, going in unbiased, and hearing that it was a remake, finding out that it's not a remake, it's a continuance, I freaking love this movie.
I really thought it was good. And again, if you can get past some of the cheesier stuff and hating that older sister's character.
But it's so satisfying throughout the whole movie, though, because you hate her so much. But it's so satisfying throughout the entire movie. And we were talking, too, because in 2 years, it is Leatherface 50th year anniversary. I bet that they come out with this collection set. I'm hoping, if anybody's out there that does those things.
Yes, really a full-blown, beautiful collection set, director's cuts, commentary.
I would totally buy it.
I would be in line to purchase this. That is that's a marathon gorge that I would love to do.
Absolutely.
I thoroughly enjoyed doing the Nightmare on Elm Street one several years ago. I decided, marathon time.
In which we own all of them except for the, I think the two newest
The two
ones.
newest we do not own. As a matter of fact, I have not seen the newest.
I have.
And again, that's another one that had very up-down reviews. A lot of people were very enraged. I don't understand. How can you get mad over something that you obviously didn't watch?
Right, because they mentioned in the movie that this is a 50-year period. Like, and that's what bothers me so much. So, again.
Which leads me to ask one thing, and I pray one of you out there can give me the answer to this. How old is Leatherface?
Right, because...
How old was he in the 1974 when he began butchering people? I mean, what was he, like in his teens or something?
Because they even show him aged and old and, like, tired looking.
He did. He looked wore out.
And it was one of those, and we have our own theories on a couple of things in the movie. Again, we don't want to do too many spoilers because this is such a new movie. We want to give you guys the time to watch it yourselves. It is on Netflix. It is free.
It is
on Netflix
owned by Netflix.
Yes.
This was initially meant to come out in theaters in 2021. However, screen testing was disastrous, and it was eventually sold to Netflix
and I'm glad
for
they did.
Instantaneous release.
I'm glad they did because being able to watch a brand new movie of that magnitude that has such a history
yes.
for free right now.
Yeah.
Love it.
And if you are looking for gore, just to watch something gory,
there are two scenes.
It is perfect.
There are two major death scenes that had us like, we were like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah, you know which one.
And even the lighter, there's a couple of lighter death scenes.
And you're just
even those are like, whoo, the makeup effects. Oh, the
beautiful.
Makeup. Highly recommend watching it. Really do. Give this one a chance.
Absolutely. It is absolutely recommended from my point of view and your point of view as far as what you look for in a horror movie.
Yeah. Give this one a chance. Pay no attention to those reviews. If you like it, you like it, whatever. And if you don't, okay, that's your prerogative. But honestly, give this one a chance. We assure you, it's not a remake.
Yep, absolutely worth it. Definitely gonna watch again here soon.
I would most assuredly give this one a 5.
Yep,
I'd give it a 5.
It's got the cheesiness from the old style. It's got the new makeup gore.
It had every note that I look for in a good horror movie. Yep. And it even had a few times where we were both kind of at the edge of our seats a little bit, and then. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean,
and it's got the it's got creep factor to it, but because of the history and you already knowing Leatherface and his style, there's stuff that builds up to certain points, and you're just like, and you're getting excited because you know what's about to happen, what's about to come out, and you're just like, and they give it to you. And that's the great part, is that they give you what you're looking for.
I do, however, want to give one spoiler. Sally comes back. The original final girl from the 1974 classic. Unfortunately not played by the original actress, as we sadly lost her back in 2014. However, the woman who plays her is phenomenal.
She does a great job.
Olwen, I'm going to butcher her last name. I believe it's pronounced Fourier.
Fourier, yeah.
I believe it's pronounced Fourier. Yeah. She was
good.
Epic.
She was good. And every actor in the movie played their character. And again,
there was no super bad acting.
No. Even the older sister, the one that you and I hated from the get-go, that was her character. She was meant to play that, and she executed it very well.
The acting was done well. The casting was done very well. Please give this movie a chance before you listen to all of the naysay online. It really is not bad at all.
5 out of 5 for me.
Definitely a 5.
So thank you guys for joining us on another episode of Gore to Be Gore. Let us know in the comments if you've seen the movie, what you thought of it. We would definitely like to know. And also, if you want us to continue doing these newer movies like this.
Yeah.
If it's something that you enjoy, or if you want us to bounce back and forth here and there, or if there's one coming up that you want us to do a review on, let us know.
And a quick side note, we have brought something back to our Facebook page. We have brought back Satanic Sundays. Even though it unfortunately was not popular with a few, we do lose some followers here and there because of it.
Yep.
That's fine. That's your choice. But we have brought Satanic Sunday back to our Facebook page.
Absolutely.
So, every single one of you have very pleasant nightmares. And thank you once again.